right, so now we're going to move into the next segment of this portion of the show, and that is going to be the predictions on the divisional round games. And so, Dave, what's your prediction on the first game we're going to talk about here? That is the Bengals versus the Titans.
That's a tough one. Derrick Henry's coming back, and the Titans can play really well. Especially when they have Henry. They have looked good. They've beaten down some teams. They were the number one team for a while. The Bengals have also looked really good. Joe Burrow, I would trust Joe Burrow more than I would Ryan Tannehill for that matchup. But porous offensive line for the Bengals. The Titans can just keep running the ball. It's in Tennessee. Leaning towards Titans, but I'm going to give the Bengals the upset pick. I got the Bengals winning this one 33-27.
Wow, that's a bold pick right there. How about you, Alex? How are you feeling about this matchup?
I agree with a lot of what they said. If Tennessee can run the ball with Derrick Henry, if he's healthy enough to come back this weekend, they'll have a little bit tough time stopping Derrick Henry, but I think Joe Burrow is the better quarterback matchup in this game. He's got the little better half of the receivers, and I have them edging out Tennessee by 7, with Cincinnati getting it 28-21.
Wow, so I'm going to go a little bit in the opposite direction here. I'm pulling for Music City, Derrick Henry, running it straight down the Bengals' throat. I think he comes back in a big way. I think he controls this game. I think the crowd gets into it. I think Burrow is going to be great in this game, and I think Cincinnati's going to score. But in the end, I've got the Titans edging out the Bengals 31-28. So we'll see how it goes.
Weather will be a factor. I know there's all the snowstorms up there now. If they're still up there come game time, it'll probably be a completely different game.
Yeah, it makes it harder to
It's
air
a
it out.
snowstorm, and it's going to be Joe Mixon versus Derrick Henry.
We also have
Definitely lean towards the Titans, but
play a factor in if anybody catches COVID within the time frame of the divisional round.
That is certainly a wild card these days that I'm sure every team's dealing with. But so our next matchup, I think, is a very interesting one. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. I'll start out with Alex. Alex, what do you think about this matchup?
I do not like this matchup. I don't have too much faith in Jimmy G to hang in there with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is definitely the better quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers has a better all-around offense than Jimmy G and the Niners. And we all know Kyle Shanahan likes to screw up end game. So I got the Green Bay Packers winning 35-21.
I mean, it's tough just because the history between the two. It's Aaron Rodgers against the 49ers in the playoffs has not fared well for him. I mean, Kaepernick whipped them twice. Jimmy G whipped him bad last time they played. It's been the epic collapse for the Packers every time they play the Niners, but lately it seems like the Packers like to choke in the NFC Championship game instead of the divisional round, so I think the Packers in Lambeau with that week off probably have the better chance there. Definitely will take Rodgers over Jimmy G, but yeah, I think the Packers are gonna hang 30 on the Niners, probably like 30-20. But yeah, I'd go Green Bay.
Wow, so it looks like I'm the tiebreaker here. I'm gonna have to go with the team that I think is hot and streaky right now, and I think that is the San Francisco 49ers. I think it'll be close, and I think that Aaron Rodgers will play well, but I look for a couple unlucky turnovers, off somebody's hands that pops up, and maybe San Fran gets a couple turnovers, and I just look for San Francisco to sort of find a way to win this game. I mean, I thought they were dead and gone when they were playing the Rams a few Sundays ago, and they sort of came back there, and I just feel like they're on this mission, and I think Green Bay is susceptible to get beat here. I think Rodgers is great, but overall, I don't think they have the talent level of some of the other teams, and I think they are susceptible to getting beat. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going to have to go with the San Francisco 49ers on this one, 35-31. All right, so our next game is one that's close to us, the Rams versus the Bucks. How do you rate this one, Dan?
Oh, it's the toughest game to pick this week. You got the Rams looking great, easily more talented than the Bucks. On paper, everything suggests Rams. The Bucks without Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen really makes it lean towards the Rams. And the Rams have had the Bucks number. They beat them 34-24 this year in a game that really wasn't even that close. They beat them with Jared Goff last year, I think 27-24, and that one was in Tampa. Rams have had their number kind of like the Saints have, but then playoff time with Brady seems to always be a little bit different, just like last year. So there's the factor. On paper, it all says Rams, so I'll say Bucks win 31-30.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. Alex, how you
How I feel,
analyze this one?
how I analyze, they made some great points. Bucks are pretty banged up. It's not hard to. The Rams have been looking good, but if you ask me, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. So I'm gonna go with Tampa 28, Rams 24.
Wow, that I can understand why you guys are going in that direction. Good grief. I mean, how many times has Brady been counted out, or especially last playoffs, and just the Bucks just always seem to find a way to get it done. And the Bucks defense is legitimately really good, and I think they're not super healthy, but I think they're going to get plenty healthy for this game. They're going to do what they need to do rehab wise and to play it at a high level. My gut is telling me to go with the Rams, which I hate because the Bucks are my hometown team, and Tom Brady's pretty much the boogeyman in the playoffs. But I think the Rams on paper just have so much talent that it could give the Bucks some real problems. And I think if the Rams play their A game and the Bucks play their A game, I think the Rams are going to get it. So I'm going to say Rams. I'm going to say Rams 27, Bucks 21.
It's that magic number, the one I said last year for the playoffs with the Bucks at 31. Every game I said they'd get 31 points and it was something. And 31-23, they beat Washington. 30-20 over the Saints. 31-26 over the Packers. 31-9 over the Chiefs. Just because they scored 31 in the first playoff game this year, that's their number. That's why I think we're going to go forward.
Can never count Brady out, and Brady's 5-0 with the Bucks in the playoffs. So
That's a good point. It's a very good point. All right, so the last prediction, Bills versus Chiefs. How are you going with this one, Alex?
this matchup intrigues me the most because Kansas City and the Buffalo Bills both have high octane offenses. They both can drive it downfield at will. But I ultimately going to put this game on Buffalo's defense, and they're going to beat Kansas City 28-21.
Wow.
I mean, the Bills drubbed Kansas City once this year, and that game wasn't even close. The Bills playing at their peak, like the Rams, are probably the best team in the AFC when they're really playing. They lost to the Jaguars. They lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Patriots when the Patriots attempted 3 passes. It's tough. They're so shaky. I mean, they got annihilated by the Colts, got ran all over by Jonathan Taylor, and then they came back and started annihilating teams again. I know they got the number 1 defense, the highest point differential. The way they play the Patriots, if they play, coming out playing like that, then I'd say overall, I like the more balanced offense of the Bills, and I like the Bills' defense better. The game is in Kansas City. Kansas City with their turnover issues, though, I'd say, 34-30 Bills.
All right, so once again, I'm going to go in the opposite direction here. I think the Bills are just a little too inconsistent for me. And I feel like the Bills sort of do need to play their A game to win this game. I think the Chiefs' defense actually, too, has gotten significantly better in the second half of the season.
They have.
And I just think that Mahomes is going to pretty much gonna probably put up over 30. So the Bills are gonna really need to score, and I'm not convinced that they'll be able to, because I think in a lot of games they've sort of struggled to run the ball. I know that was a little different last week, but I don't fully believe in their offensive line or their run game, and I think that could be an issue going up
Josh
against
Allen's
Mahomes.
their run game.
Yeah, they do have Josh Allen. I remember when they were playing the Bucks and he was like stumbling around. They'd like tape him up on the sidelines. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one, and I've got Chiefs 42, Bills 34.
Chiefs are the betting favorite for it.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bucks, Packers, Titans. All the home teams are the betting favorites to win.
All right, so that wraps up our predictions and recaps. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment.
Well, get your fast take though. Give me your Super Bowl prediction.
Oh, all right, we'll go for it. Super Bowl prediction. I've got. I'll give you one of my teams. We'll go around. One of my teams. So I've got the Rams making the Super Bowl.
Against who and who wins? Come on. Gotta give me the AFC team. It's gotta be, you pick Chiefs and Titans.
Yeah, I'll do the. I'm gonna say it's going to be an upset, and it's going to be the Titans, because I think that even though the Chiefs' defense has gotten better, if there's one person who could really open them up, it'd be Derrick Henry.
Well, the Chiefs only put up 3 points on the Titans earlier this year. They lost 23-3, 27-3, something like that.
Our
And
playoff football is different.
well, and the Titans would have the home advantage, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I like the Titans to pull an upset, and I think the Chiefs would be heavily favored in that game. But I like the Titans to just run it down their throat. I remember the Chiefs really struggled last year against the run. My guess is Derrick Henry could put a big number on them. And I've got the Titans sort of pulling an upset. And then I think the Rams, I just think the Rams have so much talent. If they play their A game, no one can beat them. And I think that they've got enough veterans in there, like Aaron Donald and Von Miller, who are really hungry, that I think they're going to get people focused. And I think they're going to sort of make a run here. And I think they'll be hard to stop if they play their A game. How about you, Alex?
My Super Bowl predictions are AFC, I'm going to go with the Bills. And then NFC, I have to stick with my hometown team, Tampa.
Who wins it?
Who wins it? I say Tampa wins it to go in consecutive years.
Yeah, I don't want to get run out of town either, so I'll give it Bucks over Bills. I mean, Buffalo, I'd say they'd beat Tennessee. And then Super Bowl, the Bucks already beat the Bills. I don't see it, being any different if they're playing in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen versus Tom Brady. Tom Brady against the Bills, if that would be the matchup. I mean, Green Bay's still a factor. If it's Tampa and Green Bay, it'll be a tough pick. I mean, last year the Bucks, beat them pretty bad, but that second half it was a window closing real quick. The Bucks kind of lucked out in the end, so
Bucks better just get healthy enough for the Green Bay game if they make it past the Rams.
Yeah.
Or when they.
but a lot of these games could go either way. It's not like the first round where it was real easy to just say, Bengals will beat the Raiders, Chiefs will beat the Steelers, Bucks will beat the Eagles, Rams will beat the Cardinals. People don't really have much doubt on those games, but these division matchups are a lot closer, so.
Yeah, the predictions are definitely getting tougher.
Absolutely. All right, well, I think that wraps up this segment. And tune in to our next segment at ADD Sports to get the latest and get some more of Alex, Danny, and Day.
Well, what about awards?
Well,
that's
we're
like-
gonna break up.
Yeah.
10-minute break.
That way you can
Soon.
upload just this video. I think if you upload
Nobody's gonna watch. Well, I'd keep.